Ooh, wow. Hospital Porter's pride and dignity, and a very Merry Christmas to you all, HPANWO TV viewers. If you're watching this, it's now Christmas Day 2011. Obviously I'm not filming it that day because, as you'll see in a minute, I'm still writing my cards and wrapping my presents, hoping to catch the last Christmas mail. But obviously I'm going to upload this on Christmas Day, so if you've got time to get to the computer, if you can see over your fat stomachs and focus with your drunken eyes on your monitor screens, you'll be able to watch this little video I'm making. Excuse me, I just write the card here. This is for some friends of mine who need some mic from Ben. Let's put that in there. Oh, that's a nice little. See, that's a nice little. That's a nice card in it, a little Robin card. It's sort of secular. As I said, I'm not religious, as I was talking about in my winter solstice video. Ah, cut my tongue. Ah, God, it tastes horrible. These things, right? Oh, I'll put that on later. As I was saying in my winter solstice video, you know, for me, I'm not religious, but I'm not an atheist either. People of all types can celebrate Christmas. I mean, I know a lot of the Muslim porters at work will be celebrating Christmas. So what Christmas has actually come to mean? I don't know. It's very commercial. It's an industry. Many people complain it's too commercial, and I suppose they're right. One thing I know for certain is, if you're not religious and you're not a materialist atheist like me, then maybe you can see, I don't know, maybe you can see it in a way that other people can't. I'm not sure. Someone on my winter solstice video incidentally commented on the fact that religion and materialist atheism are kind of opposames, as David Icke calls opposames, and that's very true. That's actually true. They are opposames. If you watch David's various videos, you'll understand what the word opposame means. But it's basically two things which are perceived as opposites in popular culture, but are in fact the same thing. David gives the examples of the far left and the far right in politics, which is a good one. But he sees religion and establishments, mainstream organised religion and establishment scientific science, i.e. atheism, scepticism, is the same thing. They're seen as opposites. You get Richard Dawkins debating with some religious bloke, stuff like that. But in fact they're the same thing, and then I think that's actually true because as I said in my interview, I did an interview long ago, what was it, with Darren Pollard, but I made the point that religion and science may seem as opposites, but when they're confronted with the third option, the middle way that I was talking about in my winter solstice video, when those two opposames are confronted with the middle way, the third option, the third position, they will stand shoulder to shoulder and unite in condemnation of anyone who takes the third way. This is, I think, the biggest, because this is true, isn't it? I mean, both the religious extremists and the atheo-skeptical scientists both regard people like me in pretty much disdain and hostility. That's very true. This is John and Nikki and family from Ben. There we are. It's another one there to do. See, now December the 25th is Christmas Day, and of course, oh, I didn't cut my tongue that time. Of course, that's always seen. That's Christmas Day, and it's the day of the birth of Jesus. Well, how do people know Jesus was born on the 25th of December? There's no one actually knows that. But what you'll find is there's a distinct reason, because as you may have heard before, a lot of the story surrounding Jesus has been done before by other earlier mythologies. There are many numbers of saviour gods that are born on the 25th of December to a virgin mother. They had 12 disciples. They die, they rise again, and Jesus is just one of them. So what's special about the day, the 25th of December? Because it's nothing to do with the natural calendar. It's nothing, you know. It's not, as I was saying in my winter solstice video. There's nothing significant about the 25th of December in terms of the natural rhythms of the earth. But what it is, it's 3 nights and it's the morning after 3 nights and days after the winter solstice, and that's significant because in many of these ancient solar cults, which really are the Illuminati ones, the sun is buried in the underworld for 3 days and nights, and on the morning of the 4th day it comes out of the underworld and rises again after the winter solstice, and that is the morning of the 25th of December. So in many Illuminati solar cults, the sun is this sun worship thing is connected with this day. Now you may find that a bit disturbing. I'm sure you will if you believe in God and stuff like that. Well, fair enough. But it's not something you should really feel upset about, really. I mean, you can still celebrate Christmas, still have a good time, still enjoy yourself, you know. There's no reason why not. There's all kinds of things you can do. Drink, get drunk, have fun, spend time with your friends and family, you know. Watch the sky for Santa Claus like they do in these very sort of sentimental American movies, you know. The Americans have they get very sentimental over Christmas and very slushy about it, you might say. You know, there's these, yes, Virginia, there is a Santa Claus thing, you know. So I mean, it has value. I mean, I don't agree with Matthew Deleuze that you should just avoid it altogether because it's feeding the serpent cult. However, this brings me on to discussing things about the calendar and about the days of the year. And that is that, well, the calendar we use is the Gregorian calendar, and it is based on the birth of Jesus. So this is 2011 by the Gregorian calendar, 2011 years after the birth of Jesus, supposedly. Although we don't actually know that Jesus was born at that time. But that's a long story anyway. You see, what I think about the calendar we use is, right, as you saw, I did my ritual on the 21st, on the winter solstice. Lots of people of a pagan sort of pantheistic mentality do rituals on the solstices, on the equinoxes. There's the big summer solstice event at Stonehenge and other places, Beltane, Imbolc, things like that, Samhain. But you must have noticed that these pagan holidays, these parts of the natural calendar, they're not significant at all in the conventional calendar we use. In the Gregorian calendar, they're just another day. Now, the Gregorian calendar, it seems very artificial. For instance, we celebrate New Year on January the 1st, which is really just an entirely random day in the middle of winter. Why do we celebrate on January the 1st? Now, in Roman times, the New Year's Day was the 1st of March, St. David's Day. But nothing to do with St. David's. But in the pagan Roman era, or maybe even after that, I know that it was the 1st of March was New Year, and it ran from March through till February. February was the last month of the year. March comes from Mars, which is the Roman war god, and all the other names of all the other months are Latin. You know, June, July, August. They're named after gods or famous Caesars. Things like that. In a sense, I think having New Year on the 1st of March would be better than having it on this random date in the middle of winter, January the 1st. Because, I mean, it's sort of springtime, and I think spring is a good time to start a new year. It's nice to end it with winter and start it with spring. But we've been forced to celebrate New Year on the 1st of January. So, you know, I mean, before the Gregorian calendar, there was the Julian calendar, which is still in use in Ethiopia, which is the place where the Ark of the Covenant is. If you read my article on that, which I'll put in the description box. Ethiopia still uses the Julian calendar. I think it's only about 2002 in Ethiopia at the moment. But what is interesting, what I'm saying is that it appears to me that the modern calendar we use is designed to cut us off from nature. What I mean is because all the red letter days in the natural calendar are just ordinary days in the Gregorian calendar, and the Gregorian calendar is separated into 12 months, which really have no relation to the cycles of the moon, which is what months are supposed to be. Of course, that doesn't fit exactly within the year, but you know, other ancient calendars like the Celtic calendars took account of the changing of the moon, and the moon cycles ran separately to the yearly cycles. We have a week, which is it's a fairly arbitrary way of splitting up the year actually into 7-day periods. You know, really, there's better things you could do with that. And what I'm saying is, I don't think that the imposition of a calendar which is completely artificial and has nothing to do with the natural cycles of the universe and the Earth is an accident. I think it is deliberate. I think it is there deliberately to cut us off from the natural world and from the nature, to basically turn us into artificial beings rather than natural beings. I don't know what you think about that. I can't be sure, but I mean, it's funny that in pre-Illuminati and extra-Illuminati societies, they don't use, you know, they use the natural calendar. They measure the years from solstices to equinoxes, from equinoxes to solstices. The months are basically the cycles of the moon, and the word month and moon actually have the same source in linguistic terms. So, don't know what you think about that. Anyway, I'm digressing a little bit. I'm waffling, I know. Sorry, I've had a few glasses of wine already. Well, basically, what I'm... excuse me. I've got some Christmas presents. Now, I'm not bought everyone a Christmas present because I can't really, you know, can't afford to buy everyone I know a Christmas present. But I bought Christmas presents for members of my family who are here, who I'm going to be seeing. My daughter has already got her present, which is I brought her a little camera because she wants to do photography. Now then, this is I'm not sure who I'm going to give this to, but this is a book called Debunking 9/11 Myths: Why Conspiracy Theories Can't Stand Up to the Facts. It's a book by James B. Meigs. By David Dunbar and Brad Regan, and it's a publication by Popular Mechanics. Hearst Books. Hearst, yeah, you see, it's all corporate stuff. Anyway, I was in Blackwell's bookshop in Oxford the other day, and I saw they had a big display shelf, and I've actually written about this. I'll put a link in the description box. I've written about this. There's on HPANWO Voice. There's a huge display shelf where they got the 9/11 Commission report, and this staggered. You know, you get one and the other, and it looks very neat, and it's a display shelf. It's a display, you know, a book display. And I think it's meant to be sort of like ideas for gifts, ideas for gifts for Christmas, and you know, just so if you're short of ideas and you want to know what to buy somebody, you can always buy them a copy of the 9/11 Commission report. Do you think they'd enjoy that? Would that be fun? You know, good read. I don't know. And then there's this one as well, Debunking the 9/11 Conspiracy Theories. Well. I'm actually going to review this book, and I don't intend my review to be very favourable. As I explain in the article, there's answers to all the things that are in here. There are suitable answers to. This basically the information here has been counter debunked as far as I know, most of it. If not, I'll do my best to counter debunk it. But the point, what disturbed me about it was, if you want to go and buy a book by David Ray Griffin or Dr. Judy Wood, or David Icke or anyone else who supports the conspiracy. I couldn't find them anywhere on the shelves at Blackwell's. I went right through the politics section, couldn't find them anywhere. David Icke, one of David Icke's books in the Mind, Body, Spirit section, that's all, but there's nothing in the politics section at all. So what they're doing is it's completely biased on the behalf of Blackwell's, that they put the commission report and this only. I mean, you can order the pro-conspiracy books from the counter if you want, but you can't buy them in the store, not directly. You have to order them. I'm not sure who I'm going to give this to, actually. Probably my brother, and I'll ask if I can borrow it after he's finished reading it. Or if it takes his time, I'll say, can I read it first? So I want to review this. Alright, now this is Wittgenstein's Poker. This is a book about a great hospital porter called Ludwig Wittgenstein by David Edmonds and John Eidilnau. Now this guy's a very, very famous hospital porter. I'll put a link in the description box to an article I wrote called Hospital Porters Who Changed the World. And this is for my dad because he wants to. I think he wants to know how hospital porters think, as opposed to how civilians think. All my family are civilians. I'm the only hospital porter in the family. And I want to be able to communicate with my dad a bit better, so I'm buying him this book about this great hospital porter, Ludwig Wittgenstein. Apparently in his spare time he was some kind of philosopher at Cambridge, you know, but primarily, first and foremost, he was a hospital porter. So that's for my dad. Now this is for my Uncle Howard. It's called The Quotable Hitchens from Alcohol to Zionism, the very best of Christopher Hitchens. Now Christopher Hitchens is a very, very entertaining character, whether you agree with him or not. He passed away recently, and if you look in the description box, I'll put a link to the article to the article I wrote, which is an obituary to him. He's somebody I disagree with on many things, but I can't help admiring him for the character that he was, and I was very, very upset to find out that he'd passed away. So this is a kind of, I'm buying this for my Uncle Howard because he likes this sort of thing, and he likes Hitchens too, and this is a kind of a memorial to him, I suppose, tribute. I hope he likes it. It's basically a list of all the quotes by Christopher Hitchens on various things. He says things, for instance, like, where is it? This should interest you. Conspiracy theory. I'll try and do his voice. One has become used to the solid, complacent return of serve, so apparently grounded in reason and scepticism, but so often naive and one-dimensional. In one way, the so-called conspiracy theory need be no more than the mind's needful search for an explanation or for an alternative credulity. Conspiracy theory thus becomes an ailment of democracy. It is the white noise that moves to fill the vacuity of the official version. To blame it, the theorists, is therefore to look at only half the story and sometimes even less. So that's Christopher Hitchens on conspiracy theories. He doesn't think much of us, you see, but so what? Now this is a book from my auntie Cecile. It's about, it's an autobiography, I think, was it? It's a book by Jeanette Winterson. She's a very famous writer. She's written books like Why Orange is Not the Only Fruit, that was made into a famous film. And look at the title. Why be happy when you could be normal? Yeah. And I think that's what drew me into this book, was the title, primarily. Because that kind of why be happy when you could be normal is something that I think applies to my life quite a bit. So that's my auntie Cecile. I don't know what it's about. It just looks good, and with a title like that, you can't go wrong. So I hope my auntie Cecile likes that. Right. Now I've got to get these. Everything I've got to post. I've got to get posted because the last post. It's now I'm actually filming this on Christmas Eve, and I don't think it's going to be delivered in time actually. So they might turn up a bit late. Oh dear, damn. Never mind. I mean, I'll doesn't matter. It comes late. It comes late. I mean, a lot of these things, these bed presents, most of them, all of them except one, I can actually deliver by hand because the people involved live locally. I'll hopefully be seeing them tomorrow on Christmas Day. Well, you'll be watching this. I'm sure if you're watching this, it is Christmas Day, and once again, I'd like to, unashamedly, and without any Matthew Deleuze style discomfort or any sort of like partisan religious or non-religious guilt, wish each and every one of my HPANWO TV viewers a very happy Christmas and a very, very happy New Year. 2012, the big one. Hospital Porters, Pride and Dignity, stop the New World Order.